Before we get into the meat, Andrea, do you want to do your preamble to that you did before, just so we have new folks on?
Absolutely. So welcome. I have just hit the record button. We are recording this for folks that are unable to attend today. If you're not talking, we just ask that you keep your lines on mute. That just cuts down on the background noise as our presenters are talking. And also, you're all using the chat box, so I know you know how to use it. We do have time set aside for questions at the end, but by all means, also put them in the chat. If you don't want to forget to ask them, we'll address them towards the end as we get to that time period. So turning it right back to you, Representative Boyd, to get started.
All right, thank you. We appreciate it. So good morning, everybody. My name is Pat Boyd. I have the honor of representing the 50th House District, which is the towns of Woodstock, Pomfret, Brooklyn, Eastford, and Union, which also boasts 3 resident camps, which is great, and numerous day camps. But my connection to the camping world is a little more personal. You know, I went to camp as a kid, and I've worked on camp staffs through my high school, college days, and have been a camp director for the last 15 years. And I really do credit, you know, my interest in public service and the spark in the community from being a camp guy and my scouting experience. So this is a really easy cause to work with, and there's some great people involved. And Connecticut is blessed to have so many great camping people that lead on a national sense. So thank you all for being here. We have a number of advocates, a number of legislators. There's a number of folks who would love to be here, but this really became a really busy week over the course of a lot of committees are getting to their deadlines. So there's a number of folks that are here with spirit and certainly want the video and support the camping cause. I don't know if the Lieutenant Governor was able to log on. I know Sam from her office is on the list.
We're having some technical difficulties, but she'll be on in a moment. So
all right, perfect. So we certainly can double back to her, but it's great to have the Lieutenant Governor with us as well. I also wanted to give some time to my fellow co-hosts here, Representative Candelora, the distinguished minority leader in the House, and Senator Witkos and Senator Needleman. So Representative Candelora, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Representative Boyd. It's a pleasure to be here. And, you know, just by way of my background, I represent the 86th District, which is in North Branford, Durham, Guilford, and Wallingford. And I also, in the past, have run day camps at my facility for a number of years. And I just have to say, I'm still involved with youth sports. And, you know, as we enter through this pandemic, there's no question that children have been impacted the most, despite the fact that this virus doesn't necessarily affect them the most. And I think going forward with our day camps, they're going to be more critical than ever as we're starting to see the world get back to normal and schools are going to be out in June, that I think we're going to need to look to our day camps to supply that rich environment for children to begin a learning process that they have lost out on throughout this past year. I myself attend Boy Scout camp every year still. And the programs that they do, the children are actually learning. And I think it's going to be critical for all of us to put an emphasis into these camps. And so thank you for everything you do in putting these together. I know it's a very difficult task and a labor of love. And thank you for attending and letting me speak today.
No, thank you, Representative Candelora. We appreciate it. Senator Witkos.
Thank you, Pat. And I'll say good morning, campers. You know, when I say that, I kind of chuckle a little bit because for those of you old enough to remember, and if you're not old enough to remember, you should check it out. But there was a 1979 movie starring Bill Murray. It's called Meatballs, and it was all about camping. And you know, I represent the 8th Senatorial District, the towns of Avon, Barkhamsted, Canton, Colebrook, Granby, Heartland, Harwinton, New Hartford, Norfolk, Simsbury, and Torrington. And I have several camps in my district, Camp Jewel, Boulder Ridge, the Boy Scout camps, the YMCAs. And I tell you, the reason why I brought up Meatballs is because the premise of the movie is that kids from all over go to camps. And some kids have never seen nature other than the neighborhood park. And some kids have never had the friends that they make when they enter camp. And in this particular movie case, there was a loner that Bill Murray befriended as the camp counselor. And by the end of the movie, this young man became an integral part of a team where he helped overcome and bring to victory that camp's against the annual competition against other camps. And, the camps that you provide to our children of our state, they build character, they build strength, teamwork, and most importantly, I think self-confidence. And for that, I want to applaud you. I'm glad that we've rounded the corner on COVID, where we see the finish line in sight, and the kids are so eager to come back. And thank you for providing an opportunity for all of them to experience the wonderful things that you provide. Thank you, Representative Boyd.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Witkos. We appreciate it. Senator Needleman is feeling under the weather, so he sends his regrets today. But I do want to welcome our Lieutenant Governor to the group. So Lieutenant Governor Bysiewicz, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate the work that you do, and it's a pleasure to be with you on Youth Advocacy Day. And there's so many great organizations. They're all my favorite. I am an honorary lifetime board member of the Y. And the Girl Scouts, and grew up in Middletown and had the pleasure of learning how to swim at the Middletown Y, and went to Camp Ingersoll when I was a kid. So I just want to say thank you all for what you do, and everything that you do is important, but it's even more important this summer, as kids are excited to get back to seeing their friends and engaging in educational activities, physical fitness, and trying to catch up on all that was lost over the past year. And everything that you do helps young people realize their full potential. And it's so important to our youth's social and emotional learning and skills that they're going to use throughout their lives. We're very lucky to have 513 or more licensed camps in Connecticut, which is, that's just an amazing resource. And we're not going to be able to fully reopen our economy unless parents have a great place for their kids over the summer. So I think having lost 40,000 childcare spots over the pandemic, it really makes us appreciate the great things that you do, and also appreciate how vital childcare is to reopening our economic infrastructure. So I want to just say thank you to all of our camp counselors, our staff and directors for the really great work that you do. We know this hasn't been an easy year for you, and we know that your highest priority is the safety of all our kids. And I'm just very delighted that you are going to be hearing from our Office of Early Childhood and our amazing Commissioner, Beth Bai, who has been a very strong advocate for making sure that we have these opportunities and that camps operate safely. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day. And I just want to say thank you to Representative Pat Boyd, who is as fierce an advocate as Northeastern Connecticut can have in the quiet corner. And the governor and I really rely upon him to let us know what his part of the state needs. And we appreciate so much his leadership. Pat, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Susan. We appreciate you joining us today. And this is an easy cause to rally behind too, so appreciate it. And I think you brought up a really good point that Camps are a huge part of the child care continuum, and it's something that once school's in, we need to get people outside, and that often gets forgotten when we're talking about childcare, that this is a huge piece of the summer part. And there's very few other opportunities for direct leadership development than you have in camps. So again, we appreciate everybody's support. As I said before, we have some amazing camp people in Connecticut, leaders on the national stage as well. And so we wanted to give a chance to hand the meeting over to some of them that really are making the case of what camps do both for the Connecticut economy and why it's an important part of youth development here as well. So I'm not sure who I'm sending it to first, but the floor is yours. Thank you.
So you're handing it to me. Thank you all for being here. My name is Suzanne Richards. I am the Director of Youth Development Special Needs Programs at the Darien Y. But in this case right now, I am the President of the Connecticut Camping Association, and so honored to have, as many representatives and legislators here on this meeting, as well as camp staff and CEOs and executive directors. So what a great turnout and a great cause. And we're so happy that you're all supporting it as much as you are. And yes, I agree that Commissioner Bai is 100%, the greatest advocate we have right now. And we had a wonderful meeting with her and her team yesterday to talk about what Camp 2021 is going to look like. So I really look forward to working with everybody this summer. But I'm speaking on why camps need to be open, and it's kind of, kids need camp more than ever right now. This is just such a difficult time for everybody, and not just the kids, but the families. Families and parents need to get back to work, and so for parents, it's having a safe place where their children can go and learn and grow, and for children, their mental health right now is suffering, and we really need them to be able to come and make new friends and reconnect with their old friends. We had a very successful 2020 for day camps. Now that we're able to open up resident camps, I think it just increases it so much more. We want the children to get back into a normal routine. Right now, they're either remote learning or they're hybrid learning or they're in person, and then next week they might be home again. And we want them to be consistent, and we really need, we need campers to be there so that they can talk about their feelings with their leadership staff and their peers and stuff like that. So summer camp programs for children, social emotional learning, physical exercise. Right now, I read a report that says obesity rate right now in kids because of COVID has increased. So as a goal for camps is, as much physical activity as we can. Get them away from their screens. Everything right now is all on their computers. We want to be, unplugged for the summer, and we think that is so important. And then just outside. We've been inside for a year. I'm so looking forward to, warm days and sun being out and, getting outside myself. And so, get these campers outside as much as possible. As far as the economy, camp is helping the economy, or will help the economy. Not only will it allow parents to go back to work, we contribute $212 million to the state's economy. We employ over 14,000 young adults and adults, and we attract about 33,000 visitors to Connecticut every summer. Those visitors spend about $10.7 million. So just by bringing camps, opening up camps, we are hoping to, help Connecticut with their economy. As far as enrollment is concerned, most camps that I have spoken to started registration, some back in August when Camp 2020 ended, and some are doing it now. And most camps are reporting to be exceeding what they ever thought that they would be at this point in time, almost to 80% capacity. So parents want camp, need camp, campers need camp, and we are ready and with our doors open, and we want as many children we can to come to camp. And we need all of your help to continue to support camps this summer. And we appreciate the fact that resident camps can now open in 2021. I know we have a lot of resident camps on this call that are very happy. And so we're just going to move forward. So thank you guys all for being here. We love having you. Pat, I don't know who's next.
I think I'm taking it from here, Suzanne. This is Mark.
Okay.
Suzanne, thank you for your leadership on the Connecticut Camping Association. You guys have done terrific work there, so I appreciate that. For everyone on the call who I haven't had a chance to meet, my name is Mark Pooler. I'm currently the CEO of the Southington Cheshire Community YMCAs. I spent 20 years as the camp director of YMCA Camp Sloper in Southington, Connecticut, a large YMCA day camp. I also spent 12 years as a camp consultant traveling across the world and really teaching and promoting and advocating for the value of camp. However, my most important role in camping right now is I'm a camp dad. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, and they are longing for camp to happen. Camp truly saved our summer last year. They attended our camp at YMCA Camp Sloper, had a wonderful time, and kudos to all the staff across the state who did an amazing job in camping in 2020. And I know that'll happen again in 2021. So I'm here to talk a little bit about how camps can open safely this summer. Following the guidelines of the Center of Disease Control, the Connecticut Department of Public Health, the Office of Early Childhood, the American Camping Association, and the YMCA of the USA, we know camps can open safely this summer. Connecticut camps are committed to several methods to do that, whether that's pre-arrival, shelter in place, pre-screenings, daily health screenings, face coverings, disinfecting and cleaning, hand washing and sanitizing, cohorting, modifying meals and food services, and altering and modifying activities. We know that our camp professionals have the talent to be able to make those accommodations happen. I like to reference a survey that was done at 4 overnight camps in Maine. They were using the diligent use of non-pharmaceutical interventions, NPIs, and were successful in preventing and mitigating the COVID transmission in 4 of these overnight camps. Although there's obviously no single intervention to prevent COVID transmission, the multi-layered use of the non-pharmaceutical interventions allows the camps to prevent transmission and quickly identify any campers or staff with any of these COVID infections and successfully mitigate spread. These camps and the study consistently and effectively employed comprehensive combination of strategies that we've just listed above. The average number of campers and staff at each of these sites were fully around 250, and all of these campers arrived and departed safely on the same days. Overnight camps, day camps can and should operate in 2021. Whether the youth and the staff have all been vaccinated, we feel that we can handle either scenario in that particular case. We're confident that our camping professionals in the state of Connecticut can operate these camps safely and effectively and give kids back a piece of their childhood that they've been missing through this COVID pandemic. So thank you for that opportunity to speak. I'm going to now pass it on to talk a little bit about the science of opening camps.
Thanks, Mark, for that. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alan Pender, but at camp I go by Pendo, and I'm currently the camp director at the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp in Ashford, Connecticut, and also a board member of the Connecticut Camping Association, and excited to be here today to speak to all of you. So you kind of just heard a little bit about the why and the how camps should open and operate this summer. And if you've still got any doubts or apprehensions, hopefully I can kind of relay some data and some research to alleviate some of those, to kind of just show you that camps can open safely this summer. So you see that figure that kind of stands out at you there, and that's based on some Connecticut camps last summer, that 3 out of over 20,000 campers and staff cases were tested positive for COVID. And that's based on a study of 19 YMCA camps, day camps in Connecticut, 3 camps each reporting a single positive COVID-19 case. 2 of the camps had 1 positive camper, and the 3rd camp had 1 positive staff member. And then based on the contact tracing that happened after that, it indicated that none of these cases were contracted from the camp setting. So that number 3 is actually 0.01% of the overall number of campers and staff from last summer. And you can see that the other study that Mark referenced when he was talking about the diligent use of those non-pharmaceutical interventions, and he beautifully read that quote there to kind of show and illustrate that multi-layered use does work and can work. So like these day camps in Connecticut and those overnight camps in Maine and Texas, they all employed the same NPIs, those non-pharmaceutical interventions, to great effectiveness. And so even with that daily coming and going, campers and staff and parents, in most cases, they were dropped off and picked up their children. Only 3 camps had positive cases of COVID. In 2 cases, only 1 camper and no staff tested positive. In both cases, campers and staff were isolated and no further spread occurred. And then the final and third case was 1 staff member, and again, campers and staff were isolated and no further spread occurred. In wrapping up, I guess I would just like to kind of echo what everybody is saying, what Mark said, that, you know, a significant advantage of summer camp is that the vast majority of activities do occur outside. At overnight camps, at day camps, almost every activity is built to take place outdoors. And the CDC and ACA has long had guidelines in place for cabin living to minimize the spread of communicable diseases long before COVID. And then the outdoor nature of summer camp, combined with the Office of Early Childhood's guidelines, proved to be highly effective in keeping all of our children and campers safe in the day camps in 2020. And so this combination will work for day and overnight camps in 2021. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pendo. I believe that the team also put together a short video as well. So I don't know, Suzanne, if you want to run that.
Andrea is going to run that.
Excellent.
Now more than ever, we know our kids need summer camp. It was really tough on them not being able to come to camp last summer, because camp is really the original social network. Since last spring, kids have spent more and more time online. They've been learning remote, they've been catching with their friends remote, and they miss that day-to-day interaction that they have here at camp. We get phone calls all the time from parents asking us when we're gonna know if camp can open and how much their kids really need that camp experience and how they need to get outdoors and make friends and build relationships and learn those lifelong skills that they learn here at camp.
Every year for the last 100 years, campers and staff have been camped in the days to be able to return to their home away from home, to see their friends again and to make new ones, and to try all the different activities that camp has to offer, to be able to be outside, to live in the moment, and to just be a kid. The benefits of camp are well documented. The sense of belonging that camp gives creates an environment where kids can just be themselves. Trying new activities in a safe environment and then failing, but being able to get back up and try again, builds resilience. Our staff give every child the individual attention they need to listen to their stories, their hopes and their dreams. Many kids don't have an adult like that in their lives that have the time for that. Camp gives kids hope. It builds them up. It empowers them. And after the year that we've had, don't kids deserve this?
When summer arrives, we'll be ready to provide a safe, screen-free summer where the children can experience fresh air, outdoor activities, all while making new friendships and rekindling the old ones.
Our camps need to open this summer. We all know that it's what our kids need: safe, socially distanced outdoor activities where they can socialize, be outdoors, and enjoy each other again.
So thank you. And if we could maybe stop the screen sharing so we can look at the matrix of faces here. So here's the ask, and then we'll certainly stay on for questions and want to be respectful of everybody's time today. So the ask is this: if you're a camp director, executive director, or an advocate, please reach out to your legislators and your town officials and make that connection if you haven't done so already. It's really important that those that are representing your interests at the Capitol know of what you do in your area. And if you're a legislator or an agency rep, here's the ask on your end is, if COVID guidelines permit, go out and visit camps this summer. You'll be amazed as to what's going on really in your background. And so many times I hear about camps that people say, oh yeah, I drive by that place all the time, and they have no idea what goes on inside of it. I think what we do is important. And I think if we strengthen our partnerships between legislators, and there's a number of folks from state agencies, DCF, OEC, DPH on the call, and we appreciate your interest as well in all of that. So let's just build a stronger connection between the camp level and legislators, and down the stretch here, there's some discussions that need to happen so that we can open camp safely. And it's been great, and OEC has been extremely responsible in getting back to folks, but we have to make sure we get it and we get it right, because everybody's safety. And I do want to take one more shout out to the Connecticut Camping Association, which is really the advocacy group within the state, a coalition of camps. And if you're on the call and you're not a member of the Connecticut Camp Association, if there's a time to join, now is the time. The work that Suzanne and her team are doing to advocate for every camp, members or not in the state, is unbelievable. And my hope is next year at this time, we'll have an advocacy day again, but we'll have it in the state capitol on a session day, and we all can be face to face and have that connection there. So I appreciate everybody's time. So I guess, Suzanne, if we want to open it up to questions.
I actually want to say a huge thank you to you, Representative Boyd, for putting this all together. But along with a great team of people, CCA is very lucky to have Jay Aronson as our lobbyist. He has definitely done his work this past couple years, but especially this year, reaching out to anybody and everybody that he possibly can to really support camps. Not just the Connecticut Camping Association, but he's also part of Camp Jewel. So a huge thank you to Jay, and also John Catalin, who represents the YMCAs, is also just as hardworking and really has done a great thing for us. And both of them have really gotten very personal with Commissioner Bai and making sure that our voices are heard. So a huge thank you to Jay and John for all the work that they've done this year.
I absolutely agree. Thank you.
So, and thank you guys all for coming.
So I guess if you want to raise your hand, Representative Hughes, I see your hand is raised. Welcome.
Why, thank you, colleague camp director and former camp director. Being in the House is a lot like having a camp staff meeting, isn't it? I just wanted to give a shout out and see what our camps can do to get resources for reimbursement, for testing, for on-site supplies to help keep it safe. What are we doing as a state to offer that? Some of those COVID relief funds, can they be used for extra tent spacing, testing, extra screening materials, that kind of thing.
That's a good point. There has been lots of discussion as to what's in the federal COVID relief package and what's not. We've reached out to the federal delegation because there's been a conversation about money put aside for childcare. It's not clear at this point, what might directly affect camps and in what form, but that certainly discussion is happening. And it's funny you mentioned, Representative Hughes, about a camp staff. When I walk into the House of Representatives, it's a tiered half oval structure, and I often think that we should just have the campfire down below.
Exactly. We're in the amphitheater.
The amphitheater. We might actually get on some of the more cantankerous days. I've thought about trying to lead the House in a song and see where it goes from there. But
I'm with you. So. I'm right behind you. I'll help you lead it. Any camp song you want.
Thank you, Jay. Mr. Aronson.
Yeah, thanks very much, Representative, and thanks to all the legislators who joined us today. Very, very much appreciated. This is such an important thing that we have for moving forward this summer for our kids. We at Camp Jewel know that we can fill camp no problem this year. And have every confidence that every other residence camp that wasn't able to open this summer will have no problem filling as well. So thank you very much for your support. Rep Hughes, to your question, we actually had a meeting yesterday with OEC and Commissioner Bai, and that was one of the things that we did talk about, was having some of the federal COVID money go to supporting some of the things that we may need at camp, whether it's testing, if that's the case, or PPE. So that is being talked about. Thank you.
Other Representative Meskers, the distinguished gentleman from Greenwich.
Well, thanks for the distinguished. I want to thank you for putting this together more than anything. I think, you know, I've been in term for about, you know, what's now it's going 3 years, my second term. And I was contacted this summer by the Boys and Girls Club. They were using the Boy Scout facilities, Camp Simmons, and helping them after the storm was getting their connection there. And I think with the Boys and Girls Club involvement and the council here in Greenwich, anything we have to help run those facilities, particularly with the Boys and Girls Club, which is dealing with, you know, some of our more disadvantaged youth, I'd be thrilled. So Jay, I'll mention, take advantage, Jay, make sure you reach out to all of us so we all lean in on that. So that's good to hear, and thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Other questions or comments? All right, well, being respectful of everybody's time, and we didn't want to take up too much of it. Representative Comey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to ask a quick question. I know we've been busy, and so I haven't done too much research into this, but my understanding is that some of the Girl Scout camps are looking like they're up for sale. I know that there's Boy Scouts on this. Is that, you know, regarded in
Yeah, I would just, you know, and I don't know if there's somebody from the Girl Scouts on the call, but I would reach out to Melissa Perkins, and I can give you that contact info from the Girl Scouts of Connecticut. She's probably the best with more information as well. So I'm happy to pass that along to you offline as to what they're
this year, the Girl Scouts, and that worries me.
Yep. No, I will share that information. Maggie from Office of Early Childhood.
I just
welcome.
wanted to say hello on behalf of Commissioner Bai. She apologized for not being able to be here today, but we continue to have conversations with the Connecticut Camping Association, the Youth Camp Advisory Council, Safety Advisory Council, and John Catalin and Jay Aronson. We are going to support you in every way we can. As we know what is now, we don't know what's going to look like in June. So there is this degree of uncertainty, but we are updating our guidance as we receive more information and more confirmation. And we are currently updating our youth camp guide. It will look different. It'll be more user-friendly, and that should be available soon. So thank you for inviting us, and we will continue to be at your side.
Thank you. And I personally appreciate your responsiveness as well. So I know it's a tough time for a lot of stuff going on. So appreciate the work that you do and the commissioner does. Representative Nuccio.
Sorry, it took me a second how to figure out unmute there.
That's all right.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank you, Representative Boyd, for putting this together for us. I appreciate all the work you do in our corner of the state over here, and I'm very interested to hear the guidance, and that we're looking at possibly using some of this money from the federal government to aid these camps, because residential camps in our towns are an important resource for our parents, and it's an important aspect of our children's lives and their mental health. So I'm patiently awaiting. I've been talking to my recreation departments to make sure that they're ready to go once we get the guidance. And I just wanted to thank you again for pulling this together and inviting all of us to gather our resources and come up with a consistent plan for all of us.
Thank you. And I will set the example here, since I am a camp director in your district. I look forward to having you out to visit Jane Webster this summer. So thank you.
You just send me the invite and I will be there, sir.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Champagne.
Thank you, Pat. And I also want to thank you for putting this together. Obviously, we're all running multiple meetings at the same time, but I'm looking forward to that invitation as well.
You got it, sir. All right. Other questions or comments? All right, Suzanne, floor is yours.
No, all I was going to say is I know there's a lot of questions about regulations, and that was part of our meeting with the OEC yesterday, and we're hoping maybe the first week in April, they have to go through Department of Public Health and then the reopening committee. So our goal is that, first week in April to have more guidelines. But, kind of as Maggie said, it's changing every day. So what could be there now in, a month or two could change again. But right now we're going to go with what we know and work off of that. So I do appreciate all the work that OEC has been doing and just trying to get as much information to us, because I know they are dealing with childcare right now that is currently running, but camp is definitely just as important to them.
All right, thank you. I would say with that, it is 9:39. We don't want to take up too much of your time. Please go out and spread the good word and advocate for the camps. And if we hit some roadblocks down the road and we need some extra advocacy, we'll certainly reach out to both legislators and camp people to make that happen. And I look forward to seeing you all in camp this summer. So thank you all and have a great day.